Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Today we're looking at the final in the series of the back attack series that we've been looking at for the past 4 weeks. Although today we're not looking at attacks at all, we're going to be going through escapes. Or, well, more importantly, concepts of escapes. So we're going to show a couple of techniques or ideas behind techniques, but mostly we're going to be talking about the reasons why and what you should be looking for when you're thinking about escaping.
Yeah, like the techniques that we're going to show you today, you've probably seen from your own teacher or your own coach and how to do, but like what we're going to focus on is the reasoning behind some of the details that we're going to cover, and possibly just a different way of thinking about escaping the back as opposed to here's a technique, get your hips out, It's just, we're going to be looking at, okay, my priority is this, Bond's priority is that, and here's the reason behind it, and then we're going to sort of give you the concepts to go and play with in your own gym, obviously social distanced.
Yeah, some of these ideas might already fit in with some stuff you are doing already, and hopefully will enhance them. I don't think it's going to set any fireworks off in anybody's mind in terms of something that is going to be completely brand new to them. Might solidify a few ideas of things that you already do and just a better understanding of the concept of why you're doing it. I think sometimes people are in a bit of a rut of just doing a technique without necessarily thinking about the why, and that's a good thing about teaching as well, is that you can kind of get more into the depth of it and think about the why because you're trying to explain that to somebody, but that's for a whole other topic. So today I think Si's going to be talking mostly about concepts surrounding hip escaping around, and I'm going to be looking at how to control the hand fight with the person on the back.
So before we get into the actual techniques, like there are two major concepts when you're controlling the back, and that is hip control and shoulder control. The shoulder control, kind of everything falls into the grip fighting and things like that, and with the hip control, the leg position and everything else around that falls into that category as well. My concept is which hip to escape and what angle to face them at and how to maximise your chance of escaping. And Bond's concept is talking about how to maximise and stack the odds in your favour for when you're trying to escape and keep yourself safe as well as trying to escape.
I think a lot of people rush to the escape and forget actually the danger of the chokes or any other techniques that are there. So I'll be definitely talking about how to keep safe and stack the odds in your favour for probably what will then actually lead into some of Si's ideas in terms of hip escape. But keeping yourself safe is the first and foremost thing, isn't it?
So we'll look at Bond's bit first. As I said, his will feed in quite nicely with mine, and they'll all link in quite nicely.
So excuse me. I'll show it from both ways. It seems like Si's just gone there.
I was like,
nicely. So when I'm on the back, what my priority as the person attacking is, we've gone through all these techniques before, but it's to get on the neck and start looking for the choke. I don't think I've ever finished a fight like this, sat up. We usually end up falling to the side. So we're going to have a look at how on the defensive end of things we can kind of stack that initial bit of the movement in your favour, and then how to keep yourself safe while you're doing it. So first and foremost, we should be looking at trying to protect the neck. And the way that we're going to do that, because if I'm not doing anything here, and I start thinking about clearing the legs yet, I'm getting choked straight away. So what I want to do first is start hand fighting. We need to eliminate the possibility of that choke to start off with. I like to bring my elbows in nice and tight. Si's got lovely ideas about like grabbing the ends of the levers here, but in this initial stage of contact, it's about preventing the hands from sliding up. So pretty simply, just a nice tight pinch there and keeping the elbows locked in is a good place to start. Now then we've got two choices. We can go to the left, to the overhook of the seatbelt, or we can go to the opposite side and go to the underhook on the seatbelt. Might be a bit of an unconventional approach to it, but we're going to fall to the underhook side, and I'll tell you why in a second. So let's fall to the underhook, and that doesn't matter whether it's on the left or the right, it's just the opposite one from whichever's coming over the top of your shoulder on the seatbelt. Reason being for this is it means I can use my elbow and the floor to pinch my lat and squeeze his bottom arm underneath my armpit as I keep a double control on the top wrist. What that means from there is that I can use two of my hands now to start fighting on one of Si's hands. For him to be able to get the choke going, one, he needs to get this top hand underneath my neck, but then 2, he also needs to get this bottom hand free. So let's just say, for example, that I've done a bad job in the initial stages of this, and he's able to get this top hand around the neck, but now I've still got this bottom arm trapped. I'm using all of my weight, which is a lot of weight, yeah, granted, but we've also got the ground, which is an immovable object. He's not going to be able to go in this direction with this, and it's going to be really difficult for him to pull his hand out. So then that gives me the opportunity, even if he gets to this point, to start fighting 2-on-1 here, and then go into a baseball bat grip, maybe pulling over like this and keeping pressure there. At no point in this has he been able to use that bottom arm to choke me, and even still here I've got good pressure and I'm keeping it controlled. We can start looking at some different escapes from there, or simply just turning into a closed guard. But the most important thing that I'd like you to think about is just falling to a side where you can stack the odds in your favour. So for me, that's going to the left, and it's a concept that I teach to people just to give them the idea of how to stay safe. So we come to the bottom, and it's going to make it very difficult for him to do this. I can almost forget about this arm for the time being. There's not a great deal he can do with it, even if he traps the wrist and keeps that in there. Now it's a one-on-one fight, as opposed to if we were up or even on the other side, if he traps this arm. Now it's a 2-on-1 fight for him, because he's got both options available and I've just got this one to defend. But by being here, even if he does get that wrist control, it's still a 1-on-1 fair fight, and we can even turn that into a 2-on-1 in our advantage. And as we said before, baseball bat grip, I'm sure you've all seen these sort of escapes, and then coming up to a place of safety there.
I think as well, for a point of reference, because some people call them sides different, rather than the overhook and underhook, is choking and non-choking. So the arm over the top will be the choking side, because that's the primary attacking arm, and the underhook side will be the non-choking arm. I think that's, some places use different points of reference, don't they, for it?
Yeah, typically the overhook arm or the top seatbelt is going to be where the danger is mostly. So yeah, definitely usually going to be the choking arm. I'd like to see somebody get a choke with the bottom arm. Don't really think it's probably going to happen. No. So yeah, depending on what your club calls it or what you've learned over the years, either underhook and overhook, or a primary, secondary arm, top seatbelt, bottom seatbelt, whatever it is, we want to make sure, whether it's left or right as well, don't just get into a bad habit of, let's say your normal training partner always puts it on where the right arm is the top seatbelt and the left arm is the bottom, always fall into the left. Because if you come up against somebody who's done it the wrong way around, or the way that you're not used to training, and you go to that side, now you've stacked the odds in their favour.
No, definitely. And sort of tying that in with the concept I'm going to cover is hip control. So in the previous weeks where we've sort of looked at the alternative ways of controlling the hips, we've prioritised sort of locking in that bottom hip and that bottom hook. So my escape really focuses on loosening and escaping that bottom hook first, whether you fall to the choking side or the non-choking side. For argument's sake, we'll go to the choking side. And I'm going with Bonn's technique of controlling the top grip and making sure that it can't be choked from here. Now, when I'm here, I don't want to allow my hips to stay square to Bonn's hips, because here now Bonn's got all the control of my hips. You can start to pull my bottom hip in nice and tight and not allow me to move. So for when you're attacking, your bottom hook, this one underneath the body, is the one that you're going to get in first, because that helps keep the player there. Now if you're escaping, your priority should be to escape this bottom hook. Now the way that I do this, on the way that I instruct this, is you're going to bring your knee a little bit higher and you're going to plant your little toe into the floor, and you're going to turn your hips so that your stomach is facing the ceiling. And then once you get to here, you can allow your weight to rest on their leg. Now as Bonn tries to get the hook back in, it's very difficult for him to do. And again, granted that I've got a lot of weight to be sitting through the leg, we can just allow ourselves to go over the top and control this bottom hook, and we're in a lot less danger here now. Now once we do get to here, it's important that we stop them from climbing up to mount. And again, we do that with allowing our hips and our weight to go through their bottom leg, but also posting on this top leg here. So now as Bonn tries to get on top, start to climb out and escape from here. But the key thing and the key priority for when you are trying to escape the back, even if it's on the non-choking side, is to defend the neck and then get your bottom hip free. So the bottom hip is the hip that's underneath. And again, we're planting on the little toe, and we're turning up to the sky and allowing our weight to sit through their leg. We can post you start to walk out and then sit up. So there's some really, there's not really any mind-blowing techniques with escaping. It's almost the fundamentals explained in a way that hopefully makes a bit more sense. I'm sure these things are things that we've been taught, but like the conceptualize of it all is something that I think I've had to develop myself. I'm sure you've sort of figured out yourself with the way that you take the grips and control the grips, and hopefully the information that you've sort of passed on today will sort of spark that little light bulb going, or just give you a reasoning behind why you escape in a certain way.
And I think just on what we've covered today, it's true for any of the techniques that we're doing. They can be applied on both sides, and it's situational awareness of knowing what position you're in and being able to identify that calmly before you make an assessment about how you need to formulate your escape or your attack. Because, like Si's saying, if we want to escape the bottom hip or the bottom hook first, if you make the wrong decision on that and you're always thinking, right, it's my right side always, and you end up needing to do it on the left side, there's a high percentage chance that your opponent's going to be able to do what they want to you before you realise that you've made a mistake and can create the correction. So just better situational awareness, and also importantly for people who are just starting as well or are fairly new to the game, is that ability to relax and make a safe assessment of what's going on. And having a couple of things in place to keep yourself safe while you're doing that, to buy yourself time to safely relax and think through that process, is important. I think a lot of people, and you can probably testify to this as well, panic a little bit. We talked about it just recently on the podcast with the leg lock side of stuff. If you panic, there is a danger you can get injured, but there's a high percentage chance that you're probably going to end up getting subbed or in a worse position than you were to start off with.
Yeah, definitely. The concept that kind of birthed this way of thinking for me and way of escaping was from a friend of mine, Liam Wandy, who taught a seminar on escapes, and his was the one that sticks out to me was from Mount, and the whole thought process behind the whole escaping series was make the player attacking doubt their positioning, and that's going to open up more chances for an escape than if you're going through a textbook escape. If you can make the person attacking feel uncomfortable in their strong attacking position, they're going to doubt themselves and then change their plan of attack. And that's where the concept of making the position less secure for the attacker came into sort of my mindset with it all.
Yeah, if somebody's got a strong position that they're used to going through, chances are that they're used to seeing the textbook escape from it as well, and probably have a couple of things that they can do in place to shut things down that you might think you're doing well. And there's nothing more demoralising than putting your best effort onto somebody's attack to try to choke them out, let's say, for example, and you're not getting it. It kind of puts that doubt in your mind, and quite often times people will just move on and try something else, and that's where you get those opportunities to escape or change position. So stay strong, stay safe, stay clean,
stay COVID free.
Go and hit us up on the YouTube channel page. Go and check out some of the previous videos in the series as well as the other series we've done, turtle control, side control. We've got the audio version of the podcast as well. I know some of those videos are up on YouTube for you to go and check out. Let us know, all this information is for you, so let us know what you want to see in upcoming videos or series, whether that be more escaping techniques, more attacking techniques, different positions and concepts, or whether it's more discussions on concepts like we've done today as opposed to anything specific technique-wise.
No, definitely. And make sure you share this around as well. If you find this information useful, somebody else that you train with will find it useful as well. So please pass the information around. It's there for everyone to take in and hopefully progress the grappling scene as far as we can take it. And don't forget, subscribe, hit that notification bell in the top corner. Is it top corner? It's somewhere. Like the video, drop us a comment, drop us a message as well, just to let us know that we're awesome. And
yeah, we always appreciate flattery. And bribery is a good one as well.
Definitely. But catch you in the next one, guys.